I just came up with a short list of 5 ways that a narcissist can ruin your life. No particular order. Let's start with number 1. They can ruin your job. Narcissists don't want you to be successful. They also love to hurt and destroy. So if you're in a job that you love, they're going to try to take that away from you. If you're not in a job that you love, but you are in a job that is earning you a decent living, they don't want that for you either. They're going to try to destroy it. What they can do is extreme things like calling your boss and telling the boss that you do awful things or that you steal, or, they'll just come up with any way to do it. Another thing they can do is just talk to your coworkers, call them, tell them things, or they can be a pest and call your work all the time or actually come and visit you, depending what your job is. No matter what, they will make it hell for you. Now, here's how my mother tried to destroy my jobs. She would just tell me, quit your job. She didn't go after anybody at work, but she would make me feel like I deserved better. You don't want to work there. That's not a good job for you. You can quit. Now, when I get to another way they can hurt you, I'm going to explain how that behavior, which I followed, I didn't like a job, I just walked out. That led to something better for me, so it didn't quite work for her the way she wanted. Another way, which is quite obvious, is they will ruin your relationships. And again, it depends on the type of relationship, it depends on how close you are to that person, and it will vary across the board, but they will ruin relationships for you, whether it's your siblings, other relatives, your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever. Relationships at work, because they can ruin your job and your relationships at one time, so that's pretty cool, right? My mother, oddly enough, never liked my friends. Always told me my friends were not good enough for me and that they were using me. But yet she let me have those relationships, and I even think encouraged it. And I know now why. It's because to her, I was on the wrong path with those friends because I was a drunk. So she liked that I was a drunk because it made me not a good person. It made her feel like she was much better than me. My mother wasn't a drunk. So if I had those friends, she could constantly be reassured that she was better than me. Also, if I had those friends, she could constantly tell me how they weren't good for me. And she liked that because she knew I was going to hang out with people I could drink with, but yet I was always feeling like they're not good enough for me, or if they didn't like me, I thought, these are bad people. My mother has, taught me that they're not good people, and not even bad people want to hang out with me. So it was just a crappy way to live, thinking you had friends that were no good, yet you didn't want to leave them, and if they wanted to leave you, that made you feel worse. So I always thought that I wasn't good enough, and so what do? You just hang out with anybody because nobody's going to be good enough, nobody's really going to like me, and you don't put yourself in a position where you can have good friends, good life, that kind of thing. Another way, they'll destroy your dreams. They'll make you feel like you can't have what you want. And this is where being told all the time to not stick with a crappy job, that helped me because I did feel like I could not have what I wanted, according to my mother. But I also had a father who taught me that you can have anything you want if you're willing to work. And I started out very young, helping him build his lobster traps, painting his lobster buoys. And if I wanted something, like I always go back to my set of craft books, which I still have, which made the move to Mississippi. I asked him for those, and he said, let me see if I can work that in. And he showed me how he was going to look at his, his checkbook and what was in there and how much they were, and he was going to budget for those books. I'm sure they weren't expensive, but everything was expensive to him. And he decided he could do it. And if I helped a little bit, then that would help. And I would be working for no pay because I was working for the books. But he didn't insist on that. He's just like, if you want to help me every now and then, that would be great. And so I thought, gee, when I'm a grown-up, if I want something, all I have to do is figure out if I can afford it. If I can have it. If I can't afford it, I just work, and then I can have it. So I became an entrepreneur because of that. And I've done really well for myself. And, it's like I got away from the jobs that I didn't like, and I had jobs that I did like, though, because I was a workaholic. I liked being employed. I liked working, even though I was a drunk. Did not drink on the job, but I drank before, after, and missed a lot of work due to hangovers. But I, became an entrepreneur, and that was all due to my father. And a little bit of thanks goes to my mother for making me feel like I didn't have to stay at a crappy job. I believe that for everyone. Nobody should be doing a crappy job. You got to work all your life. You should enjoy it. But her reasons weren't for my well-being. Her reasons were because she wanted to control me. She probably would have liked it if I was a bum, unemployed, drinking under a bridge and, looking for returnable bottles to, to pay for booze and never leaving home. She would have liked that. And they don't only destroy those things, they just destroy your soul. They destroy how you feel about yourself, and they, try really hard at making you feel like you are a nothing. Even, outside of your dreams, you are a nothing, a nobody, and you should hate yourself. Narcissists love that. And last but not least, they can outright kill you. Just kill you. This is a narcissist that also would have to be a sociopath, but that happens. If you're with a narcissist, especially in a situation where, you're a couple and you ever fear for your life, you have to get out, because that person can turn on you and just kill you. Now, I'm not afraid for my life. Even when my mother was physically abusive, I was never afraid for my life. I do watch TikToks and stuff of people who were. One woman at 5 years old, her mother threw out a window, and she was very afraid all the time. I wasn't afraid for my life, but, and now I'm certainly not. I can outrun my mother, my almost 99-year-old mother, who can't even get up out of a chair by herself, so I feel pretty safe physically. But the mental part, even though there are some smooth days, it's always there. I'm always worried that something can come up and trigger me and I lose my mind. Just thought I would share all that. Again, if you think you're in physical danger, you need to get out of that.